So now is the time to take action. From Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home.
Well, that's it. Boris has done it again, and we're going back into another lockdown. What's going on? Welcome back to a bonus video this week. Today, the UK has gone into lockdown again. Not quite the same as they did last time, with not as much severity, but a lockdown nonetheless. And I wanted to sort of explain how I got through the first lockdown as a creative, and if there's any sort of tips and advice that I could pass on to other creatives, freelancers, photographers, graphic designers, videographers, you know the score, creatives. For those that are possibly new here, my name's Gudgeon. I'm a filmmaker. I've got a video production company in Leeds in the north of England. I make videos every week on YouTube. Not so much like this, but videos on YouTube. And during the first lockdown is actually when my channel started to take off a little bit. I actually went into the first lockdown with around sort of 400 or 500 subscribers. And that was a time for me to just really double down on YouTube. It was the plan this year anyway. And we'll sort of touch on that a little bit further later on in this video, but I want to just do this video to try and see if I could offer little bits of advice to other creatives across the world. As this second lockdown sort of takes off, the natural reaction for businesses is to cut their marketing spends. It's always been the case when money gets tight in a business, the first thing that seems to go is marketing, which is obviously where us as creatives fall into that sort of sector. I don't know why that's the case. It's just one of them things that those in the higher powers can just go, right, let's cut marketing, let's cut spend there, we can save a little bit of money. Whereas obviously in tougher times, naturally, if you wanted to increase sales or anything like that, marketing is probably where you should be putting your money. But unfortunately, us as creatives tend to be the ones that get hit first. So as freelancers and as creatives, I think we need to sort of look at how we actually sell our products and services, especially during a lockdown, and see if you can maintain and build relationships with new clients. For example, if you are a videographer and you've got a day rate of £250, or a photographer, and you're going from job to job to job, it's a very unsustainable lifestyle as a creative. Obviously, if you're booked up months in advance, you know, you're onto a winner. But as weddings get cut and as shoots get cancelled, what I would say is it's probably a good time now to try and maintain relationships with clients and future clients and look into more of a retained model with businesses. So reduce your rates to increase the volume of shoots. So if you charge £250 a day, why not do a deal with a company? So let's say you're a photographer, going on a monthly basis, you'll do a day's shoots for X amount of photo edits. Maybe you reduce it to £150, but they sign a contract for 6 months. Well, rather than just a one-off shoot, you generated 6 months worth of work. It's a lesser amount, but at least you're getting revenue in to see you through possibly slower times leading into Christmas and obviously the lockdown that we're talking about at the minute. That's what I've found has worked really well as a creative, is getting businesses and clients on a retained model, reduce your costs slightly, but then build relationships and increase your revenue over time. Things like videos, things like graphic design, photography, businesses need that consistently over time. So it makes sense to build a relationship that is a win-win for you both. So they get a reduced cost, but you get consistent work, and it means that you can continue to work through sort of dark times like this. So just from a business model standpoint, maybe that's something to consider. Again, look at your cash flow. After the first lockdown, we got plenty of work in. We banked that cash so that in case something were to happen again, like a second lockdown or unexpected costs are incurred on the business, you want to have a robust cash flow in your business. So some businesses like to have 2 months in the bank, some like to have 3 months. I know businesses that I've spoken to after lockdown that say they like to have 12 months of cash flow in the business. That's a very fortunate position to be in, but as I say, cash is king, and you want to have a secure business where if you are generating work now, try not to overspend, try bank as much cash as possible to see you through the rainy days. So it's very important to have a robust sort of cash flow. Again, when you are onboarding clients, consider looking at changing your payment terms. We work on a 50% upfront basis with all our clients. So that means that we're never in a dangerous cash flow position. So as creatives, you can dictate your payment terms. So that's sort of like your rules of engagement. You can say, I want a deposit up front, just so that you can maintain a cash flow forecast and you're not out of pocket waiting for a 30-day term, which then could get overlooked or pushed onto 60 days or 90 days, because that's one of the main reasons small businesses go out of business is due to cash flow problems, not because they haven't got work. So that's something to consider. If you have no work on during lockdown, it's not as bad as you think. I would take this time to upskill and market yourself as much as possible. As I said at the beginning of this video, I went into the first lockdown with about 400 subscribers. We're now rolling on to 3,000 subscribers. You know, I've been consistent all year. I took the time in the first lockdown to educate my audience, educate my clients of the process of video production and what it'd be like working with an agency and who we've worked with in the past. And that's been a real powerful marketing tool for the business. And it's one that we will adopt and carry on moving forward. I've always been in content creation, but during the first lockdown, I really doubled down on it. So use this time wisely in lockdown 2.0 to start building up your market material, maybe update your website, update your portfolio, get yourself ready to attack and pounce on the back of this lockdown. We can still shoot in the UK, so obviously that needs to come first. But if you do have a bit of downtime or it's got a little bit quieter, market yourself correctly. Get your Instagram on fire, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, go all in on it. Content marketing is king. You want to have as much information out there for a potential client or customer to see and research you and your skills as much as possible. So yeah, double down on that. Talking about YouTube, look at diversifying your income. This channel, for example, generates income from YouTube ads, affiliate links, brand deals. You can then look at other ways of monetizing yourself and your content. So you could look at places like Blackbox, which you sell stock footage, Shutterstock to sell pictures. These are all what they call passive income. There's nothing really passive about it because it takes a lot of upfront work, but then little income streams can become bigger and bigger over time. And obviously you can generate a substantial amount of money in the background whilst doing your day-to-day work of shooting, designing, web designing, all the creative stuff that we're into. That's your main source of income. And then you could have a small little B income, which over time could generate and could be actually bigger than your main income for shooting and creating videos. So look at diversifying your income. And finally, look into the government grants that are available. There's no shame in taking the grants, all of the support that the government's put in place. We pay our taxes to the government for the support through the darker times. That's one that we capitalised on a business during the first time round. We furloughed members of staff, which meant the government subsidised those wages. I took out the grants that were available, so we managed to upgrade equipment. There was a resilience grant that was available. I made a video all about it. Look at what the grants and government support are available in your area and really take advantage of it. And that's the same across the globe. I'm sure there'll be similar things in America, Canada. Look at what's available, do your research, do your homework, and just take what you can. You know, that's why you pay into the system, is so for when the times are a little bit harder, you can take it back again. The times are not that dark. If you can survive as a creative through the first lockdown, and then obviously we can still work through this second lockdown. If you can get through all this, we're going to have such a good time as a creative industry when the restrictions are lifted and we actually find a little bit of normality again. But I wanted to just make this video a little bit more raw, just to try and offer a little bit of support to those creatives in the industry that I know we're all taking a hit. It's hard, you know, but thankfully we are an industry that can still work. You know, your heart can only go out to those in the leisure industry, restaurants, gyms. It's a tough time out there, but we've got to keep powering on, stiff upper lip, strong British attitude, and we'll get through it. But hopefully there were just some little tips in there that you may have found useful and you can adopt and take forward in your business. As always, I'll be back next week with the regular scheduled uploads on Tuesday night. But if you did enjoy this video and you've got any questions, you know, drop us a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, check out my Instagram as well. I'm there for a DM if you need any questions answering. So I'll see you there, and like I said, I'll be back next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.